Okay, you're in the right spot. Everybody's in the right spot. Look at these pumpkins we're making today. Maggie's here, and it's Autumn Pumpkins with Maggie. And we even have directions that you can download, or you can get a copy here at Memory Bound. So I'll give you guys this that's on. And we're going to start out. We've got some new things from Elizabeth Crafts. And Diane can tell you about the new kits coming from Elizabeth Crafts.
Yeah.
And then we got Maggie here.
Hello. Happy fall.
Happy fall, everybody. I'm going to yell. Actually, I could probably just turn this on.
I'm just going to stick these in
Okay.
here. We can show those
All right. There's a microphone for Maggie.
later.
Maggie, you look so cute today. Is that a new top?
It's the
really
first time
I
I've
like
worn
it.
it.
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
I'm going to pan up and down so everybody can see it. It's got like a band on the bottom.
Yeah. Randy wanted to know what this strip down the middle was, and I said that's what's supposed to make you look skinnier.
Yes, and it does. It definitely
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone's saying happy fall.
It
Diane,
is.
I'll give you this
Okay.
or whoever, and then you guys can do that, and then we'll make pumpkins.
Okay, it's a beautiful fall morning here. Sun is out.
And the leaves are starting to look like fall.
And it was under 40 this morning. It was a little chilly. It was 37 on our thermometer.
I hesitated to wear long sleeves because I thought, oh my gosh, Diane will have the heat on.
I got my jacket out.
My jacket doesn't come out till December. Okay.
What
out
are
for a
we?
short while.
Okay,
Yes.
here.
Okay.
You take that, and I will show the new paper packs from Elizabeth Crafts. This is David's design, the
This caught my eye,
abandoned
Diane.
paper. So I think we need to open it up.
Janine said it's pictures of old wallpaper that Elle saw somewhere.
Yes,
Oh
these
my
are all
gosh.
photographs
Really?
that Els took on her trips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
Would you love to
pretty,
go on a trip with her and just see what she sees?
pretty amazing paper. It's really cool. Great background papers. Look at that, an old newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah, that's lots
Well,
of
she
chippy
would see it
wood.
because she travels a lot.
Yep, lots of chippy wood. Yeah, pretty cool. So this is abandoned wood paper, abandoned
papers.
papers. So that's one, and it is $13.99. And then this is Esther's collection.
Wouldn't that be
Latest
fun to give it
collection.
a category and say, here's your camera, go find
Yeah.
papers?
So they always print on the back of their
Love that.
opening sheet. You know, I haven't even really looked at this. It's pinks and greens.
Now-
And look how they burnt edges.
To me, this one looks more like the old wallpapers than the other one.
This one was not wallpaper. This
Oh, okay.
one was woods.
Okay, so
Wood
the-
buildings.
Okay.
This
That's
one,
what-
I'm
okay,
not
I
sure.
misunderstood that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is, but look at that. I love that
Wow.
green.
The
Kind of into
textures
green.
that she puts in are
Yeah, and
amazing.
even those words are green.
I do like that pack.
Yeah. I want a bedspread that color. Just saying.
Good luck.
Pottery Barn actually has one.
Really?
Yes. It's in their new collection. Anyway, this is, I love how they did the green instead of always black words. Yeah. Pretty cool. Ooh, love that.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh my gosh,
so
that's gorgeous.
this is the new paper pack, and it's called Petal Pink. And this is from Elizabeth Craft. They're both $13.99. Okay, and then the December daily day-to-day with Annette Green. Her class is October 28th, and this is, you get the red, it's a sidekick. You get the red sidekick.
I saw
that we
Janine
all
working
love.
with that at the crop, and I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Marilyn, I hope you're feeling better. She's been gone with a broken neck. Oh,
Gracious.
wow.
And it's called Christmas Field Notes. And this is the set of dies that we're all pretty excited about. It is for the Sidekick, but I can make it work in my Planner Essentials too. I'll show you how I've done that. But that's a neat die. So you get the album, you get the die, and then this set of stamps, which is pretty cool. Really like that set of stamps.
And this is the December day by day, or day to day?
Day by day.
Day by day
Yep.
kit.
From Annette Green, and the class will be October 28th. It's in 2 sessions, and then you can always go back. And if you buy the kit, you get the QR code to get you into the private Facebook group. But the paper is, again, so cool. Like, I love how they do that.
Yeah.
And this you can cut apart really easy. And there's that green again.
Wow.
So this is a neat kit, and it is $89.99.
And that album, the little album, is like this soft
yes.
leather. It's so cool.
And it's the only way you can get the red album right now. We're not sure if they're going to come out with that just on its own. We're kind of hoping they do, but as of right now, we have not heard. So, yeah, this is neat paper.
Beautiful.
So that is that. And then they have new stuff coming out, hopefully this afternoon. And it's another Esther. Esther.
I get all those names mixed up. I only think I know Els.
Els is the owner,
Okay.
and Esther is a designer. Her
Okay.
and David, and then there's a few other ones.
But Els is the one that I see on Facebook traveling.
Yes,
bands
all
and
over.
Okay.
Yes.
With their grandkids. And
Yep. There will be a new collection coming out, we think, this afternoon, so that will be on order. We'll be able to order it tomorrow, and it is called Postage Stamp.
Ooh.
It's got 6 new dies, 4 new stamps. It's pretty cool. We saw it yesterday, and it's going to be a neat collection. So you Elizabeth Craft lovers, again, it's like every Monday they come out with something new.
Donna says she thinks it's waiting for her in her box from Memory Bound. She hasn't even opened it yet.
The Christmas kit, probably. Yes. Okay, so that is all the new stuff for today.
And Lisa wants to know, can you buy the paper without the kit? And the
You
answer is
can.
yes. Okay.
Yes. The paper pack is available by itself.
And it is called Christmas Field Notes.
The stamp, the die, and the album are not available by themselves. Just the paper pack. So I think that's all that I have to say on this Monday
Did you want
morning.
to show Kelly's Boo kit?
We have a few more kits.
Halloween is coming
Monster Mash album kit. We've showed the inside. It's got everything you need. The album, even black Nouveau drops.
Kelly packed it full.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it is $42.99.
And this is the album.
And it's a Graphic 45 album. And it is all put together. You don't have to put the album together. All you have to do is decorate it.
And add photos.
And add photos. Yes. Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Diane. And now we're going to
Ready to make pumpkins?
turn
All
just gonna
right.
turn the camera over to Kelly.
Kelly is going to
I get to record today.
record today.
Where am I? Okay, thanks, Diane. Oops. Thank you.
And we just
Okay, are
keep
you
finding
good?
yeah.
prettier and prettier paper, so we keep adding to our stash here.
Maggie, you have a lot of stuff here.
I do.
And these pumpkins have been quite a hit already here at Memory Bound. So I think we're all anxious to see you make one. or 2 or whatever you're making.
Yeah.
And you've been picking out fall paper, it looks like.
I have, and every time I go by, I find more that I like. So.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, because I'm going to be using it. So
Tim Holtz had a surprise release yesterday. We knew about it. We had an inside view, but the Clear Rock Candy Glitter is 10 years old. Can you believe that, Maggie? It came out 10 years ago.
Yes.
And here it is right here.
She's
got some. So this is the Distress Clear Rock Candy Glitter from Tim Holtz. It's very fine, and it is clear. And I think there's kind of different sizes in here, which it makes it kind of fun. And Maggie's going to be using it today. This is the normal bottle, but now they have a commemorative bottle that was released yesterday. And Janet can link it. Ours is supposed to arrive today. I'm going to say it's arriving today because that's what our tracking number says, but it has got us in trouble before when we've told people something's coming and then for a reason we can't help, it doesn't show up. But the new jar holds 4 of these jars, and it's value priced at $24.99. And
the jar is really
and this is $8, so that is a savings. And the jar is vintage looking. I can't remember kind of how they described it, but it looks like kind of an old merchandising jar.
A little bottle that you'd find in an old pharmacy.
Yeah. It's super cute. Oh, thank you, Doug. Doug just brought a round of drinks for all of us from Subway. So if you'd like that, you can order it. We've got it up on our website for the new bottle. Of course, if you want a small one, you can get that too. Yes. And it arrives today. So if you order it, we'll just hang on to your order until it comes today.
The bottle is worth it.
Oh my gosh,
it's just
yes.
in black and white, and it's I can just see it sitting on a Christmas shelf with a red bow on it.
I was thinking that too, a red and white striped.
Yes.
And then I wondered about taking it, and Tim shows you in his video this weekend, dyeing it with alcohol inks. And Maggie, you've done that a lot.
Yes, and then you can put them in little smaller containers.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty.
And so if you want to check that out on his YouTube channel, it was a very good video, and you'll love watching it, and you'll see why you need the large jar.
And if you like collector items, I've been watching a couple sites on Facebook, and they're going fast. People are looking for these bottles.
Well, some people were purchasing too, Maggie.
You're the other one. Yeah.
Is this you?
This is me.
Doug just got us a round of drinks from down at Subway. So we're going to pass those out while we get started. But if you have any questions, Lisa says the jar is amazing.
Yes, it's
and
cool.
Angie's been on vacation, and she's back. Good to see you, Angie. Hope you had a great time. Let's see. I haven't read any of the messages, but I think that's about it, Maggie. Lots of good mornings.
Yeah.
It is a good morning, and because we're making pumpkins.
We're going to make pumpkins. We decided to go back into the fall mode, and this one's for you, Kay, if you're watching. She doesn't like my bats and Halloween.
Oh, she
was hoping
stuff?
we would do fall, so I did this for Kay and everybody else, but I have to give Kay a hard time.
Look at all these pieces.
Yeah, so I just found this online. But I kind of tweaked it a little bit to make it my own.
Of course.
But basically, they're just strips, and it's so easy to make. And then you add...
that's got a Tim Holtz diamond on it.
Yes, I named this one Kelly and the Pumpkin Patch with Diamonds.
Oh, I love it.
After the Beatles song.
I love it, Maggie.
And so that one's yours, Kelly.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway... what I use then for leaves is I always feel like the maple leaf is kind of the closest looking, or, some of these oak leaves too, looking to a pumpkin
and
vine
there's
leaf.
3 sizes in there,
Yeah,
it looks like.
On mine, I used this size, and I wanted to share with you, some people have asked about this. When Tim first put this die out, it looked like this. And I bought this quite a few years ago.
Yeah, that's the original
package. What do you call that? A wheat frond?
Sure.
And
whatever you say, maybe.
Yeah. I've used it. You can tell it's very well loved. It's been used a lot. So
on there as far as what was in
Oh,
there.
yeah, yes.
So this is the same die. If you have this one, then you have this one.
Right. And what's that called again?
It is
I think
called
you might have
fall foliage.
fall foliage.
Yes, and so this is the one I used for the leaves for the pumpkins. But then I saw
here's
this,
this.
and this was kind of cool because we had some really fun ladies that came in right before the crop last weekend, and they took it up a notch. They took my pumpkins. I told them I didn't
took your
like when
pumpkins
people
up a
make
notch?
my things better.
Well,
But
you've got them started, Maggie.
they went and found some acorns, and they found, and they attached to the top, and they look really cute
Oh,
too.
that would be cute.
Yeah.
But you've added a lot of other little
Yeah,
things.
so this is from a barcode. This is probably my favorite one. This is from an old Frank Garcia paper from a few years back. But this is from another barcode. So I used that, but we also have Penny's
Oh, yeah.
papers
I'll show that over
that we
here.
can use.
Penny's done these word cut apart papers for us, and we do have one for fall or Halloween. You might be able to use the Halloween
you
one
can make
too.
Halloween ones too. I would call this one my Halloween one.
All right, let me
And-
go back to your Halloween one.
So this is actually from the Halloween line from Cartabella. Love that. Just love the colors in that. And so basically they're all made with 10 strips of 1-inch paper. And you could certainly tweak it to make it 3/4 inch papers if you wanted to. A lot of the patterns that I saw said to use 12. I felt like 12 was too thick because what I wanted to do is I wanted to put a tea light inside.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wanted it to show through. I had tea lights. They burnt out over the weekend.
Were they here like left on or?
Probably. But here's the thing is I thought Katie had brought me more, but they're gone. I wanted to put tea lights in to show everybody what it
So
looked like.
we will all use our imaginations.
Yes. So imagine a little tea light flickering in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want a candle.
No, no, not at all. But anyway, I could see these on everybody's plate for Thanksgiving dinner.
yes,
I could see these put down the middle of your table with tea lights in for Thanksgiving dinner. I thought that would be really pretty. This one is another. Some of these I just used some papers that I had in my own stash at home. I actually added sticks here. But I think probably the best part of this is the real stick. I attached real sticks on there. You don't have to.
So if you had pipe cleaners, you could use
Yeah.
that, or you could roll up some paper if
Yes.
you didn't have.
And then these little things are just little strips of paper, and I'll show how I did that. But these are all more Thanksgiving, Halloween look. But I love the patterns. I like the plains. And it's just so simple. It's kind of like magic the way they go together. So I'm going to show you how to make one.
So
And then-
would kids like doing this, Maggie?
I
Would
think
this be
kids
something
could
for
easily
kids?
do this, yes. Easily. And then we're going to move on and show how you can adapt it to Christmas, but we won't show them yet, Kelly.
Ooh, okay.
We'll make them wait. But I put in here these brads. The thing I found out is I just was using brads that I had at my house, and it doesn't really matter because the top one doesn't show at all. The bottom one, no one's going to see.
Show us
It's
the
just
bottom so we can see that.
the reason I picked these was because they had longer prongs. That's a different one. So I found these at the store, and these are the longest prongs we have.
Okay.
And so these work. The one thing about these is they're white. You could take alcohol inks and color them any color you wanted
Sure.
to. Or you could paint
Or
them.
paint.
But you have to have prongs that are at least a half an inch, if not 5/8 of
Oh,
an
I'm
inch.
surprised.
Yeah, and they're
have
hard
big
to
prongs.
find.
Yeah.
So we do have these in white.
Now,
And they are $3.29. But here's something else that I didn't use on
Ooh.
these, but these would be cool hanging, so that you could
hang a little
a
button
charm or
or
something. Yeah. So
Those
I
are the
didn't use
Timbos
those yet.
loop pins.
But I love that pattern. Of that
Now,
paper.
Jan has on candlesticks with your tea lights. Put your tea lights in them and put them on candlesticks.
On the top of candlesticks.
And Janet says if it's red, it could be a school apple. And then they say Maggie and her
Okay.
sticks. If we had a bleep, I apologize because the gal that cuts my hair has been trying to call me right now.
Oh, my
I've been
gosh.
waiting. I've been waiting all weekend to hear from her, Maggie, and you guys probably don't care about this, but I'll tell you anyway. I was supposed to get my hair cut on Thursday, and on Monday I fractured my ankle. And I laid in the hospital Monday night, and I thought, oh, I could probably still make my hair appointment on Thursday.
No.
And then Tuesday night, I'm like, no. So I canceled it. So I'm in bad need of a haircut. So I will call her back when we're done. I think everyone can understand what happens if you're 5 weeks past your normal haircut.
Well, we've all been through COVID, so we all know that.
Yeah, that's right.
Happens.
So, all right. Well, I'm really looking forward to this.
They're kind of fun. Now, I have to tell you a story of the sticks. People laugh and they keep asking me, do you still have the Duratio sticks? And I really do.
Of course you do.
I gathered up, my favorite branches are the birch branches. But I gathered them up after the Duratio, and they're in my garage in a bin. And every few weeks, Randy goes out to clean the garage, and he'll say, what do you want me to do with that bin of sticks? Leave them there, because I always come up with a project and I always end up adding them. But a few of the ladies that came for the crop last weekend, they wanted sticks because they wanted to make these out at the crop. And so I sent them up to the nearest Walgreens because there's a
oh my gosh, that's right. There's a tree you like there.
And they did. They went up and got their sticks up there. And I said, oh, those Walgreens employees are probably looking out the window going, what is going on?
Or the cars driving by wondering why there's women out there taking branches off their tree.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you start to finish. You could just make these like crazy. And I am going to show you, I just took some brads that I had at my house because that's all I had when I was making them. But then when I came to the store, I tried to find the brads that had the longest prong, and those were the ones.
And those work the best.
And it's perfect. They're white, so you can paint them, ink them with alcohol ink.
And Maggie wrote directions, so you can come in and get these directions. You can order them. They are a download. And you're good to go. And Shelley just said gathered twigs. LOL.
Gathered twigs. We're using gathered twigs in more ways than one.
If only Tim knew when he named his ink gathered twigs, the confusion it would cause us here at Memory Bound.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to start out, and I've been wanting to make a kind of a purplish pumpkin because pumpkins aren't always orange. And so I found this paper. It's from Cartabella Halloween line.
Oh, this year's Halloween,
right?
Yep, it is.
This year's. And I would call it kind of an eggplant color, but it does have a little texture. It's got some lines running through it. And so, but Kelly, if you want to just pan over, every time I'd walk by a paper last weekend, I'd go, oh, that'd be a good pumpkin. That would be a good pumpkin. But look at these.
So you found some new ones. Yeah, I like that.
So any of these, but you could just... all day long you could be finding.
We have a lot of good fall paper. So if you are looking for something for fall, come on in or log in and go to our fall section because we do have a lot of good ones.
Fall, like this one's from the travel line, but isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, and they look good together. Have you ever mixed your strips?
I never thought about mixing them.
That'd be kind of if you try that at home, and we encourage you to do so, then post a picture for all of us to see.
Okay, so I'll show you how easy this is. You cut 10. I only did 10. If you wanted to even do 9, it would maybe open up a few more little spots that you could see your tea light. Probably 9 or 10. I probably wouldn't do any less than 9. But what I did is I cut them anywhere between, you can cut them anywhere between 6. We got rolling pumpkins. Between 6 inch by 1 inch. And that would be probably smaller than this. This, I think, is 6.5 inches.
So your pumpkins are different sizes,
Yeah,
Maggie?
some I cut 6.5, some I cut 7. And you could even do, like I said, I think I might have done, the Christmas one I did is 6. So I'll show that to you in a little bit. But I think this is probably 7, 6.5 or 7.
So 10 strips that are 1 inch by 6, 6.5, 7.
And it's kind of nice to vary your sizes so that all your pumpkins,
so your group looks good.
Yeah. And then you can use your crocodile. And I have one of those big crocodiles that,
Yep.
so I can punch
I don't even know if
through.
those are available
Well, that's
anymore.
what I didn't bring it for that reason. But what you want to do is punch a small hole, and if this is too thick, you can just do half at a time, because the crocodile will cut through quite a bit. And you'll just punch. If you'll notice, the crocodile has two, there's one here and one here, two hole punchers. This one is your small one, and you want to use the smaller one because you don't want your brad to fall through. But can you see that? I would say it's probably 1/8 of an inch.
Probably. A lot of people get
Yeah.
confused with the crocodile. This is not the hole punch. That's actually on the sides.
Your hole punchers are up here, and it's very strong in order to punch your holes. But if you can only punch half of them or 3 or 4 of
Then
them,
you do half.
yeah,
Or if you have a paper piercer and you can just do a few at a time.
and you can do that too.
Although
Now-
we think everyone should have a crocodile.
Oh my
don't we,
gosh,
Maggie?
yes, yes, and they really do punch through very well. But see how small it is, and I just eyeballed it. You don't have to measure. You don't have to.
So you've got a
worry.
hole on each end.
A hole on each end. Okay. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to ink the edges if you would like, and I like them inked. It gives that a little bit more of a, a little more depth.
And are you using gathered twigs by any chance?
I am using gathered twigs, and on this one it's not going to show too much, but a lot of your papers have a white core, and so
Yeah.
even if you do nothing but get rid of that white core,
That makes a big difference.
it makes a big difference. And so you're just going to ink the edges of these very quickly.
It's kind of like you don't realize it's there, but it does make a difference. Like on this one, you can see the ink on the edges.
Yeah, it just
And
gives
when
you a
they're
lot
darker, like this one's a little bit darker, but it's still. And you could probably ink with orange or whatever you want, depending on your pumpkins.
Yeah,
you
and
might make pink pumpkins for
There
Breast
you
Cancer
go.
Awareness Month.
more. Oh, that would be
Wouldn't
fun.
that be fun?
And you know what? Once you start making these, you'll find out
You
how
can't
easy
stop.
they are, and you'll be going, "Oh, let's make pink ones." or-
Maggie was so sweet. She brought this the Friday of the crop and a couple weeks ago, and everybody was making them out at the hotel. It was so fun.
Well, it was funny because I brought them in because I had gotten them done and I wanted to bring them in. And there were a couple ladies that were doing some early shopping before the crop.
Oh yeah.
And they saw them. And so then we had to go around the store and find all sorts of fun pumpkin papers. And so that's kind of how it got started. And then I sent them up to get their twigs.
Send them up to Walgreens. Walgreens is, what would you say, 2 blocks from here,
Yes.
maybe at the most?
And there's a beautiful birch tree up there, and it always has.
Is it by the road or where's
It's
it at?
right between
In case I need some sticks.
right between Walgreens and the dentist's office.
Okay.
Right there beside the dentist's
So
office.
by the building more?
So what I would tell them, I'd say pull into the parking lot and look to your left, and there's a beautiful tree there. So,
Good to know.
and they always have dropped branches. I told them not to tear
don't-
them down.
They don't need to prune it,
No,
just
no. Okay, so now you've got that. So now we're going to add our brads, and you're going to look at the side of the paper that you want to see. So that's the side that you're going to stick the brad in. And again, I'm just using a couple brads that I had at my house. I did not have those nice white ones there, so we had to improvise.
blue works.
Yep, you're not going to see the blue one, so that's going to be my top one. And I do have this nice brown, so that's nice. Oops,
And this is, you know what? A lot of us have brads. How many of you have brads? I have a whole divided container full of eyelets and brads.
And you just
already
have to be
have
sure
them at
they're
home.
long enough, because if they're not long enough, it won't hold.
Oh, good to know.
So you want to really press it so it's really nice and tight,
And you put brads on both sides.
both sides.
Oh.
And you just don't realize how this is going to turn into a round circle.
I don't get it, Maggie. I
It's
can't
so fun.
visualize it.
Okay, so this is the fun part. This is the inside of the pumpkin. So what you want to do is you want to kind of form, don't fold, but whole thing into what they call the capital C. And it takes a little bit of time just to kind of keep getting that bent.
So kind of training the paper
Yes,
to curve.
and the inside will look like it's kind of buckling a little bit, and you will have a little bit of this, and that's, can you see
little
that?
bit of-
But that's why you have to keep pressing those things and make sure they're tight, and that's why they have to be long enough. But I'm just going to keep molding this until I have a capital C.
Now, Dawn agrees. She's got lots of brads and eyelets of every color. So Dawn, you're ready to make pumpkins.
There you go. And they do start to kind of, when you're doing this, they kind of start to pull out. Just keep pressing
So you
them.
keep pressing the brad back in.
Yeah. So see how I'm just molding that until I start to have...
I had no idea this is how it works.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Maggie, we have a lot of viewers today. There's going to be a
Good.
lot of pumpkins out in the
Yeah.
world after today.
I just think they're so fun. My sister, when I showed them to her, she says, I'll pay you to make me 3. And I said, how about if I make you 3 and you babysit my one plant over the winter for me?
There
so
you
I'm
go.
making a trade. Okay, so C, we have a C.
See, we have a C.
Yep, and it doesn't have to be like this. It can be pretty much kind of like that. Okay, this is the fun part.
Here we go.
Look at this. This is just amazing how this works.
Let me get up here so we can...
Every time I look at it, I think, oh my God, I can't believe that. It happens like this. One at a
I
time.
think I want to make these with the grandsons. 'cause
Yes.
They could pick out, you could have strips cut and they could pick out their own paper.
And they could do this part. I think sometimes it's a little tight, but I think they could do it with a little help. But when you're doing it, it's like magic how it just turns into a pumpkin.
I didn't think how you're doing it. I had no idea that was how it started. I'm very surprised.
We have our croppers here. And again, always keep checking that brad because, again, you're putting a lot of pressure on that poor little brad to stay in place. Okay, so again,
Oh my
my
gosh.
original pattern said 12, but I like 10 because I like having a little bit of see-through.
So people could experiment with different sizes and quantities,
Yes.
different widths, maybe make it narrower and make
And then
more
I do a little bouncing, kind of like this.
bouncy.
Just because it kind of makes it a little more round. And again, can you see I'm using I would call it the ugly blue. It's a very pretty blue, but it's not a pretty
It
blue
looks
for
kind
fall.
of, it looks good with that
Yeah, okay.
plum color.
Yeah, I love that plum color. And again, sometimes I had to reach in and flatten that brad. Okay, so now, at first I was like, okay, how can I make this stand up perfectly straight? And then I thought, you don't have to, because I kind of like them wobbly.
So here's Maggie's pumpkin patch.
Yeah, and they're all kind of...
That's what we should have called it, was a pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
And they're not sitting perfectly.
No, and so I kind of like that, actually. And this is how you put you don't have to do anything else, but you can put your tea light in there and just set it in there. And if it bothers you moving around, you could put probably a little, just a little
Maybe a
glue dot or something, but it didn't bother. I just put it in there and turned it on. Okay, so there's your pumpkin. So then what I did is I used that die. And you want to hand me one of those dies?
So Maggie, everybody is loving this, and
It's so easy, and it's just magic how it turns into a
it
ball.
is. And
Yeah.
Jeannie says she's on a tour bus from New York City this morning, so she's
Oh.
watching live and she's sharing it with other travelers.
Oh, wow. I hope they
So
join
thank you.
us.
Oh my gosh, yes, I love it.
Okay, so this is the one I used. This is the maple leaf die that I used. So then I punched
This
three.
is fall foliage. If you missed the first part of the video,
I
from Tim
punched
Holtz.
3 leaves out of that, and I would say, wouldn't you say that's about 2 inches?
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
inch
so.
and 3/4 by inch and 3/4. 2 by 2 piece of paper will do it. And then what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you how to make your leaves look a little more real. So I just punched them out of Color Vibe. I have like 3 shades of green that I like. One is just green. I think this is olive. And then I think I might have used a moss, maybe.
yep, that's olive, maybe avocado or moss.
Avocado, maybe. Yeah, avocado.
There's lots of good,
Yeah,
you know, we
avocado
love
should
color
be in there.
vibe, so
Yeah, but I like it because it has a little bit of a dot, so it's not perfect. Now, if you don't want the dot, you can turn it over and use that, the other side. So we're just going to use our gathered twigs We're going to ink around the edges.
And it's a little different feel of paper. It's got a little texture to it.
I love that paper.
Okay, Janet's going to decal the edge of her strips.
Oh,
That would be a great idea.
That is a great idea. Wow.
And
okay.
you could also maybe, why can't I think of the name, emboss those strips or use the, what's the thing that you roll them through and they're corrugated?
Oh,
why can't I think of that?
The crimper.
The crimper, you could maybe
Yes.
crimp them.
Okay, so see the difference in your leaves by just adding a little bit of ink. And it's very easy. And so I have a couple different shades of green, and to tell you the truth, any shade of green that you have, once you ink it, it can look really, really good.
Right, even if you have a light green and it's all you got, then just
Yeah.
ink it up and it'll be
Ink it up.
It'll be fine.
Add more ink than what I'm adding. Okay, so at first I just did this, and I love the look of it, but then I thought, okay, we need to up the game.
Of course.
So I'm going to show you how you can make this leaf look even more realistic. So you're going to find the middle, and you don't have to be real particular about this. You don't have to make sure it's perfect, 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 because nothing in nature is really perfect.
That's right.
Okay, so once you have that, then go like this.
So you folded it over and then you ran your ink
Right
tool
on the
over it.
crease. And then I'm doing this one. And like that. And then we're going to do this one. And you can do as many of these as you want. But look at how quick you can have these leaves.
Oh my gosh, I love
so
that.
I kind of like it where it's not perfect 3, so I'm going to do this. And then I think I did some about like that.
It's kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
And Jan has another great idea. She says you could emboss swirls on the paper before making it into a pumpkin.
Oh, you could texturize it.
And
Oh,
Beth is
yeah.
asking about the decal. Do you have a bell that we can ring? I think we
I
have
do.
a decal trimmer here. Decal looks kind of like old-fashioned photos, how they kind of used to cut them jaggedy. And there are decal edger dies. The decal trimmer, do we have one? We're looking to see if we have a decal trimmer
What was
in stock from Tim Holtz, because you could just use the trimmer, and gosh, that would be slick, wouldn't it?
the last suggestion that you just said?
Not the decal, emboss swirls on some of the paper.
Emboss your papers first. Okay, so
Don't you love all these ideas?
Yes.
Don't you just want to go home and try it?
Well, I told those ladies, I said, I don't like it when you go and make it better than mine.
Oh, I think it's great.
I
You're the
do.
springboard. Okay, look at those leaves,
love it.
everybody. Maggie, that's really cool.
Nothing I like better than brainstorming. Love
Okay.
brainstorming.
We have Tim Holtz has a decal trimmer. We have it on order. We don't have it in stock right now, but it's on order.
It cuts kind of like you tore your paper.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Okay, so I'm quickly finishing up my leaves.
So, and you guys, if you're not making pumpkins, look how cool these leaves are just to put on the front of a card or a scrapbook layout. And
Okay.
here Maggie's got them on a pumpkin.
Okay, so there's my leaves.
So we've learned a leaf technique.
Yes.
We've learned leafing.
And if you want to, you can kind of crumple them like this. Oh, look
Thank
at
you.
that.
Okay, Jean is here, and she happens to have a pair of decal scissors. And I kind of forgot about scissors, but it's funny because Lisa just talked about having decal scissors, and they were her favorites. And I have decal scissors at home.
Well, thank you, Jean. Now
Yep.
at least we know what decal means.
Yep, so there's what decal looks like. Maggie, can you tell us about the dimensions again on your strips? We have someone just joining us.
Okay, the dimensions of mine, if you pan over there, Kelly, they are either 6 inch by 1 inch, or 6.5 inch by 1 inch, or 7 inch by 1 inch. Now, doesn't mean you couldn't make 8-inch ones if you wanted to, and you could use 5 inches, just
Or
depending.
6 1/4.
Yeah, the 1 inch, I would say that if you got less than 6 inches long, maybe you could cut your strips 3/4
Oh, narrower,
of an
yep.
inch wide. Maybe that would be
So
better.
you just have to play around.
Yeah.
A lot of people have decal scissors, so.
There we go. Okay,
Thank you.
so
Okay, Jean. Jean's over here in the corner. Thank you.
our studio audience
I didn't
helps
even
out.
think about scissors. That's so funny.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue, and I crinkled them up in my hand so that they weren't perfectly straight. And I'm going to use my glue press, Kelly.
Now the glue press is out of stock at My Sweet Petunia, and so as soon as it's back in stock, we will have more. If you want one, you can let us know. We'll put your name on a list, and we'll reserve one for you when they come back. They really are a great product.
Okay, so I put quite a bit of glue, and
Yeah, you
then
did.
because I want it to just stick, that's the only part I put the glue is right
Just
there.
on the end.
And just kind of press it in place.
So it's next to your brad.
And yep, and if it covers part of the brad, that's okay too. But this is the only part that you're going to pool, I call it pooling the glue, because it's kind of going on an uneven surface, so that's why you want quite a bit of it. But see, I'm covering up that
So be
brad.
generous with your glue.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. I would say put at least 3. An odd number's kind of nice. But you know, if all you had was a oak leaf die, I think oak leaf.
Just use it, yeah. Use what you got.
You could even move one of these down a little bit so they're not all equally sticking out. So let's move that one down a little bit. Okay, so you can see how much.
I think you could use this, whatever you call this, wheat frond. Is that what you call this?
Mm-hmm.
I think you could put a lot of these things on there if you don't have real.
Yeah.
You want to put a little stick. I know Maggie put real twigs on hers, but I don't remember which one you did that to. Oh, up here. She put like a real twig.
Equal distance. See, this is why I have to use quite a bit of glue, because it just needs to fit over the brad, and so you just kind of press on it until it's stuck. But one, can you see how one I moved down a little bit so it was sticking out? But just, that's what I did. Okay, then what you can do is I used glue and then I let them sit. So I did about 6 of them, put
And
the
just let it
sticks on,
dry?
and then let them dry. But I'm going to do something quicker today. I brought my trusty
hot glue.
hot
Yep.
glue gun. And this stick actually is not a birch tree. It's,
All right, that is a different stick.
yeah, this is from my cottonwood trees. But it was laying there, so we're going to use that.
Well, and Heidi has the IO autumn leaves, and she's going to use that for hers. So
There you
see what
go.
you've got.
And this doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle because it might not stick right to that brad, so I just put it off to the side. But I think that is what made the pumpkins, was
You like
the
the stick.
Now, what I saw was you could take a piece of paper, maybe about 3/4 or a 1/2 inch thick, and maybe about 4 inches long, and they just curled it a little bit and then glued it on so it looked like
Oh, yeah.
it was cute. But
You could roll up a little paper
Yeah,
or
you
put a pipe
could.
cleaner, whatever you've
you
got.
could, but if you have
But
twigs.
Maggie is our twig/wood person.
Okay, so what I'm going
Oh,
to
you got
do
some other
is I
stuff.
found some really cute, we have this black and white ribbon, and I thought that was really cute. I might have to ink that up a little bit so it's not quite so white. So we can just do
So
that.
Maggie, and while you're inking, there is a question about putting in the tea light. Do you just kind of spread it apart
Yeah.
a little bit?
Those can be moved around.
So just
yeah.
spread your little strips apart and you can stick it right in there and then put them back.
Yep.
And they're asking if you could glue the Tim Holtz fabric on the paper and cut it into strips to make.
I don't
There's
see why
been
you
2
couldn't.
suggestions about making them into ornaments. So just
Oh.
wait. Maggie's been thinking about that too. But yeah,
Okay, so what I'm
That's
going
a
to show
great
you is
idea.
how to make those little curly Q vines. I just cut up some paper. Actually, this is it is a color vibe, and I think it's like a pumpkin or what. Just whatever paper was laying around. You could certainly make it longer. And I wrapped it around a pencil. Pencil sometimes gets a little bit big. We're going to use this wax thing.
we're using what we have,
Yeah,
right?
and so I inked it a little bit, and then you just wrap it around like this and get that curve going. and then pull it off, and then you can kind of just pull it
You got a
apart
little
just a
curly
little
thing.
bit, and then you have a curly
And
thing.
these strips are pretty thin, maybe, what do you
An
think,
eighth of an inch,
eighth of an
yes.
inch. All right, we have a question about the glue press refill bottles and tips, and they are also out of stock. I just checked on those Friday, and they're probably going to be out for a little bit, but you can use the Nouveau glue bottle if you want to, and Maggie's got one here. This is actually what comes with your glue press, except I believe it says My Sweet Petunia on it, but you can use that in your...
It's a really good deal because you get a full bottle of glue. So again, we're just going to put a couple more, or at least one more of these on. I just love the little the little curly cues. And so I just kind of twist it a little bit. And then if I'm going to let this sit for a while, it doesn't matter how much glue you use, but sometimes to set
more
that
the
on
better.
there. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And then let that.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, isn't
So
that fun?
cute.
And if you wanted to add another one, you could. But all of this gunky brad and everything will be covered up when you do.
When your
your
glue's going to dry
ribbon.
clear.
Yes. So we're going to.
Well,
Usually
Deanne,
I
I
would
know
wait.
that's hard when it's wet.
Yeah, I would wait, but we're just going to try it.
Deanne says that fall is her favorite season, which I think
Oh
it is
my
for a lot of
gosh.
people. And while you're tying your bow, Maggie, I'm just going to come up here and pan across these again so people can see. Now, we call that the Tim Holtz diamonds. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Maggie made earrings for the entire staff with Tim Holtz diamonds. So we all have earrings, diamond earrings now.
And we have
Thanks to Maggie and
packages
Tim
of
Holtz. Yeah,
those.
we do have those
I
gems.
should have brought those over.
I'm not sure what they're called. I don't think they're called Tim Holtz diamonds.
What are they called? Okay, can you see? I should have waited, but I just
But we
wanted-
know you're trying to do it for the video, so we get it.
But I love this black and white.
Well, and that is a
think
Merrymaker ribbon. So if you're in
Yes.
Merrymakers, you're going to be seeing that ribbon.
And I think anytime you get a little check like that in black and white, it goes with fall, it goes with Christmas. And see
Well, it
these?
looks good with the orange. You're right. It goes
Yeah.
with Christmas. It looks good with the orange.
I could have made these vines. I could have made them in green. Now, again, that bow will be pushed down once everything dries. But
Maggie,
you
that's so
certainly
cute.
could use you could use your hot glue gun for all of this. I think especially that twig, it made a difference. But this would get pressed down. But then
Once
you
it
could
dries.
you could add, I had this over in the Christmas side, but you can add, I've got
Some little pine cones.
Yes.
And
right
these
here.
are the Tim Holtz pine cones. They're $5.99, and you get 6.
They are so
Are they
cute.
like resin, Maggie, or are
They
they metal?
are resin, yeah. So let's do this. Since I have my hot glue gun, look how easy it is
So
to
you've got-
add this.
ooh.
These are great. And for Christmas, all you do is add a little glitter on them or a little white paint.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put a little hot glue.
And we'll be showing the new glitter tomorrow. It's
Look
supposed-
at that.
Oh, yes. It just adds. Or a charm, or, oh, gosh. There's so many things you could add.
And Kelly, these come in 2 or 3 different sizes. They're
Oh,
not all
they
the
are.
same
Oh, I didn't
size.
realize that. Let me
So
show
we'll
it up
put a little
closer.
one beside it. Look at that. Oh my gosh, isn't that pretty?
Yes, that's really nice.
Yeah, and that bow will get better.
The bow, don't look at the bow.
Yes. And there's your pumpkin. Look at how quickly you can make those.
That's really cute, Maggie. Good job.
I just love that color. Whoa, whoa.
Everybody's going to be making pumpkins.
Okay.
We got one more for the pumpkin patch.
Yes. But go out and gather your twigs, because I think you will, I don't know, I just like the looks of that twig more than just the plain paper. And now I could have added some twine to it if I wanted to. Do you want me to go grab those little diamonds?
get us some Tim Holtz diamonds. Diana says they're called gems, and they probably are.
They are called antiqued gems.
Antiqued gems from Tim Holtz.
Yes, and they're beautiful.
They are. I got to get my earrings out and wear them again.
Yes. Aren't
So
those
here's
pretty?
the antique gems.
And they
You get
just
12.
they just add a little class to any project, Kelly.
Well, and you could put alcohol ink on those if you wanted to, if you want to change the color. I kind of like them the way they are, but
They're already antiqued, so
and
I think
they're $5.99 for 12. And my dream had been to have a pair of earrings made with these for a long time. And Maggie made another one of my dreams come true.
There you go. And suddenly for her birthday, she had some, right?
Right, I did. Okay, so the directions are available online, so you can download those, so you can get them right away. And the number on the Tim Holtz foliage die is 660955, fall foliage.
And Kelly, that other one, I don't know what that one's called, but look at the acorns if you wanted to make acorns.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
add to them.
Okay, so this one is 663087. It's funky foliage.
Oh.
So we got fall and funky, everybody. I think Diana made earrings too. She said she had earring hooks.
Oh, there we go.
And Kim says her husband just trimmed their trees, so she's got to dig out a branch.
Perfect. And like I said, any branch will do, but if you've got birch trees, they're my favorite to use because they go from thicker to really, really fine wispy. So if you've got a birch tree, go out and pick them up before the snow blows.
Well, and Maggie, a lot of people have suggested you turn that into a Christmas ornament.
Really?
So, yeah.
You
Isn't
know,
that amazing?
I'm so glad great minds think alike,
They
don't
do.
they, Kelly? Let's slide on over. Let's move on to Christmas.
Why not? Oh, well, look at what Maggie's done. My chair does not slide very well, Maggie.
doing okay?
Yep.
And there's our Christmas ornament using the same technique.
Oh, you got a hanger on it.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I brought...
Are you pulling something out of your bag of tricks?
Yes, I have my bag of tricks all ready.
So now we showed earlier Penny's cut apart sayings for fall, and she does have them for Christmas also.
Yeah, because look at this. All of these could be cut apart and inked and added to your Christmas ornament, just like we added to this pumpkin. But I thought joy to the world, believe, dashing through the snow, all of these could be cut up and attached because I really like the looks of that.
I like that too, especially if you're giving it as a gift.
Yes.
You could put, like, if you're doing this, you could put the year on it for an ornament, or
Yeah.
there's so
And,
many options.
Kelly, think about this. You could put tea lights in every one of them and hang them on your tree.
Oh my gosh.
And it'd be like the old-fashioned candles.
It would.
Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas ornament.
And you are making one. All
We
right.
are,
Okay.
we are. So I had to switch things up a little. I went from gathered twigs to black soot ink
Okay.
because I just felt like, especially this paper comes from the Christmas Spectacular line by 49 in Market, and it's got a lot of black in it. So anyway, this paper I chose to use is this one right here. And it's the 49 in Market, and it's called Hidden Holly. And that's on the one side, and that's on this side.
Nice.
I saw this, and I thought, wow, I love that barcode. So you could almost cut that barcode and then mat it, or use that as a
use
mat.
it for a, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
neat.
I found some papers that I thought would look really nice. This is also the 49 in Market Christmas
So there's the
Spectacular.
stripe, and she ran it vertically.
Yes, that's the one I used. And then, oops, are you okay?
Yeah.
I thought this would make a pretty one. Look at this. That would be the tag
Oh my
hanging off
gosh,
of it.
yes.
Or, Kelly, you could cut this as one of your strips and mix it in.
And mix it in.
You guys are giving
or
me
just,
great
Or
ideas.
just add it as an extra one.
Yes. And then this one is also, I just happened to pick these up from the 49 in Market side, but this one would make a pretty one. She has lots of greens, but if you're going to add some greenery, I thought that the reds were better for adding greenery at the top. And these are 3 colors, or maybe those might be the same, maybe not.
For your leaves or
Yeah,
greenery.
my greenery, this one is just called Pine. Whoopsie. This
That's
one
color
is
vibe.
called Forest Green. Yeah, those two are the same. So these two would be really good, although I think I use this color also. So those three
mix
greens, and
up
that
your
one
greens.
is olive. And again, when you go to ink, you can make any green change. You can change it up
Yeah.
and have it blend.
So if you've got some greens that maybe aren't perfect, just put some ink on them and they're good to go and use them up.
But I think this would be so cool to decorate a whole tree with them and
It
put tea
would.
lights in.
Or somebody mentioned the Tim Holtz little string of lights too would be kind of neat to put in
I
there.
never thought about that too. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch it up. We're going to go to black soot because I feel like black soot goes more with the Christmas look. So we're going to quick ink the sides.
Getting it all inked up. Maggie's got a
Yes.
whole pile of goodness there.
Yeah.
And it looks like,
already.
is this the die you're using on this one?
Yes, you can share that.
So this is called Festive Gatherings. It's another Tim Holtz holiday greenery die, and this is the new. This is the new one this year.
This
isn't
is
it?
one of his new ones, and I've been eyeing that one, Kelly. And so when I decided to make a Christmas ornament, it was like, okay, there's
that
a reason
pushed you
I
over
have
the
to
edge.
have that.
So that number is 666333. I think we can remember that.
I
It's-
thought that was a good number, yeah.
It's Festive Gatherings, and it's got all of these different dies here.
What I like about it, Kelly, is the size. They're quite big.
They're big?
Yeah, they're bigger than some of his other stuff. I'm adding a little bit more ink on the sides of these. Rather than just doing the edges, I'm kind of going like this so I get a little bit more edging to it. See how that just increases
Well,
the
you can
depth
see
of
the
that
difference
paper.
here. If you look at the non-inked versus the inked, you can definitely tell.
Yeah. So again, I cut. I think I didn't bring my ruler, but I think this might be 6 or 6.5 inch by 1. Every time it's usually 1, but I think if you get to making a little smaller, you might want to decrease the width of your strips.
Mary from Maine says, "I guess cleaning the house is out of the question today." Again, thanks, Memory Bound.
Mary, you would not believe it. I have to make that decision daily at my house. And guess what wins?
I can guess, and you know, unless we're having company or something.
Yes, that's when it gets desperate.
And we're not having any company, so that tells you something.
Okay, so again, these are probably 6.5 inch by 1 inch. I made 10 of them. Punched a hole using my crocodile on both ends and use the smaller one. They don't need to be very big. And then again, I just found a couple brads at my house that had longer prongs, but we have the white ones, so pay no attention to these.
Yeah, they don't really show. So
No. Okay, so I found this one and I thought, oh, that'd be perfect
Yes,
for the
that's-
bottom.
That's been around a while, Maggie.
Yes, but what you have to do first is you have to make your twine for to hang it with.
Okay, I would not have done that.
So I cut probably about 8 inches maybe. And I'm going to just see if I can get it through.
Putting her glasses on,
this-
everybody.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get it through these holes. And so you want to go in from the top. Let's see
So you're
here.
threading it through the holes,
Yeah,
and then
you know
she
what?
will have this hanger like this.
Oh, I know. Okay, I already prepared this. I took maybe about 12 inches. And I took a little bit of glue on my finger.
I see
And I
that.
made my needle. And you can do this in a matter of seconds. I'm just going to show
So
you.
did you just put the glue on the end?
This is what I did. I just did this, and then you twist it according to how the twine is twisted. And within just a few seconds, it will be dry, and it makes a kind of a natural needle. So I had prepared that. I had forgotten. Okay, so it makes it much easier. So we're going to put those 2 needles. If your holes aren't perfectly matched up, that's okay. We're just going to put them through like this. But see how much easier when those are made into
Yeah, when they're a little
needles?
stiff.
Yeah.
So she's adding this hanger right here. And I thought you would add it afterwards and just glue it on or something, but this is better if it's going through the strips.
And actually, Kelly, when I made that, I did have to go back in and change up. So I thought, oh, how could I have done that
So you
before?
improved your
Yes.
prototype.
Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm just going to tie this in a knot. And let's do a double knot and make that knot a little bit bigger so that it doesn't come through that hole. Oops, that didn't work. We'll do it again. Oh no, it came through. Okay.
Here she
Here
goes,
we go.
going again. Maggie, while you do that, I'm just going to show this one because seeing all the greenery on here and how detailed it is, and it probably looks like a lot more than it really is when you add those die cuts.
It's really fun
And
when you have a lot of Tim Holtz fun stuff.
And look at the pine cones on this and that silk ribbon that ties so well. And she's got some, looks like glossy accents.
Yeah, and I'm going
On
to
the
show
little
you how I
berries.
did that. Okay, so I'm going to tie one more knot. I didn't have
Just
that
gonna go for it.
problem before it matched up. So you want to get that big knot so it doesn't go through the hole. There we go. So that's already there to start out with. And then we're going to put
Then you put your brad in.
we're going to put the ugly brad. I'm going to call it the ugly brad. The brad we're not going to see through there.
So the top brad, if you have brad that doesn't quite match, put it in the top.
Yes. And then we'll
Bunny
trim-
says she's going to be making those. Bunny, I'm so
they're
happy that
so
you like
fun.
this.
Okay, and then we're going to put, I found this really cute little star, red star. And Kelly, we might even have some of those over here, over there. I know we had them at 4th of July.
I think you could even hang a little picture on here.
You
You
could.
could put a little photo,
Yes.
like a little tag with a photo.
Okay, so this is, again, it's really important that you get some long prongs because it does take a little bit of strength. Okay, now what's our next step? We have to make that capital C. So I usually start here. And again, you don't want to fold it. You don't want any fold lines. You just want it bent. And again, it puts some pressure on those brads, so just keep pressing them in place.
So make sure your brad stays
And that's why you
Hooked.
do have to have longer prongs, because the first time I tried it, they were
coming out.
coming out, yeah. Okay. There's our C, like this. We're going to just maybe do this and get it a little bit more. Again, you don't want any folds. I love this paper.
You know, Maggie,
Okay.
I was thinking if you're making an ornament, maybe you could kind of crease each strip in half, and you would have, I don't know what you call it, but
Like the little Japanese lantern
Yeah,
look.
yes.
Okay. You see,
I
Kelly,
mean, I
just
know
think of the
everybody comes up
ideas.
with ideas after.
Okay,
after you,
and this is where the magic, it's just like,
Here we go.
okay, and this is where it gets so fun, because all of a sudden you
like,
start
oh,
pulling that apart,
surprise!
and you have you just have to pull one at a time.
That is really thick paper. I wonder if
is
that
thick.
made it harder, or
I don't, maybe, but I kind of like the thickness of it.
mm-hmm.
That's why I like the Cartabella. And sometimes
heavier.
if it gets a little tight, then I'll come back from the bottom too. You don't have to always pull from the top.
Now, Maggie, here's another idea. I love all of our viewers' ideas.
too.
Janet says she might make half or 3/4 of one and hang a bell or a picture inside.
So leave it
So
open.
leave it open. That would be
Very
really
cute.
fun.
I just keep thinking about hanging them
You
in
are
the
just
tree with
you are
the-
just a springboard.
Yes. Okay, so we've got this
Oh, cute.
spread apart. And then, again, a tea light could fit right in there, but like Janet was saying, look at this.
Leave it open.
Leave it open and put something in it.
Mm-hmm.
You could
You
put...
could hang gift cards in there for
you
on your
could,
tree.
yes. And see, so now you have your hook. Okay, what I wanted to share with you is that die. Again, they're bigger than normal.
And this was Festive Gatherings
Okay.
from Tim Holtz.
So what I did is when you...
Oh, they are nice and big.
Yeah, when you cut out this piece right here, it actually comes with two pieces. It has this greenery like this, but then it also comes, it cuts at the same time, it cuts this piece right here. And you can cut this out of like brown, which I think he did. But all I did was just ink it up. I didn't even worry about cutting it out of two different ones. So let's go back to brown, but I have a little black on it, so it doesn't matter. So I just inked, I'm gonna use the back of this. I just inked this piece up, but you certainly could cut this out of brown because it gets glued on top.
So just so it looks a little different.
A little different, yes. So I did these two already. So what I did is I used my black soot. I didn't use brown. You could use brown if you like it a little warmer looking. But I'm just going to go over the edges.
There's more green in there.
Like this, and just get it a little bit shaded. Do those tips a little bit, and then because I've inked this.
You're gonna glue it on?
Yes.
Well, while you're gluing that, Janet has a suggestion. Our Janet. She says you could take sticky tack and put a little piece of that on your shelf. She says a blob. And then stick your ornament or your pumpkin, and it would help kind of hold it down. And I think that just peels right off then.
Okay, so I put some glue, and that's where this glue press comes in nice and handy. And so then, because I inked it a little bit more, it's just a little darker. But again,
so it'd be just like
you
this.
Could do brown. So there's my 3. I cut 3 of those.
Oh, you're putting 3 on.
Yep, and then I cut this right here, this one. And what you do is you actually cut it twice. You cut it out of your green first, and then you cut it out of your red. And so then you use the red berries. Now what I did is I've already inked this one already and this one. I didn't do that.
Looks like she folded the leaf like she did on the pumpkin.
Yeah, and what's nice about this black soot is when you get, I'm going to show you this one. I didn't do this one. So I cut it twice. I cut it once with green and cut it once with red. And then you glue on the red berries like this. And then let's just fold this like that. We're going to get that little crease like that. There we go. Okay. So then you're just going to ink around the edges. And this is the part that I like. I love when you ink along those red berries, and I try to come in from one side so it makes them a little more three-dimensional.
So rather than just inking them all over, you're doing it on the same side of each one.
That just,
yeah, those are fun.
I love those.
And even if you're not making ornaments, this is a good demo of how to use this die. So this was Festive Gatherings, and Maggie showed us how to do the evergreen branch and then the little holly piece.
And then it does cut a few extra. When you cut it, it cuts a few extra of these little leaves. So just ink them up. Because I tucked them into places. If there was kind of a little bare spot, I tucked in some extra holly leaves just to fill it in. Okay, so now you've got these, and you've got your greenery. And I just brought this along because this is one of Tim Holtz, and I forgot to bring that over, Kelly.
Confections.
Confections, and
are you inking that
rather than make, just because they're a little bit too clean and white, so I just inked them. You could use alcohol ink, but these do pretty good for just making them not quite so perfectly white. So I just brought that along.
There's all of our pieces.
Yes. So now, to make it easier, we're going to use our hot glue gun. So we're going to start with the greenery, and like I said, I made 3. So we're going to, and you could certainly use just your regular glue press, but this will make it faster.
This way, yeah, for the sake of the video. And we have a question about these berries, Maggie. I assume that's glossy accents.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how I did that.
So that it does have glossy accents on it, and you can get them in a little bottle like this, or you can get a larger bottle of glossy accents. And I think this one might be like $3.
$2.99.
$2.99. Yes. And then there is a bigger one. And there's also, if you don't have glossy accents, if you have Morning Dew from Nouveau Drops, that's going to do the same thing.
So I like to crinkle these up in my hand like this a little bit.
Of course you do.
It just makes them look a little more real, and they're not so flat. So just put a little bit of hot glue gun and tuck it in.
They're asking how long the shank should be on the brad.
At least a half an inch. 5/8 of an inch is better, but at least a half an inch. Okay.
Maggie said earlier, if you missed it, it was very hard to keep it. The shorter shank brads don't hold as well.
Right. And I found, where did I put those, Kelly? They're right there. I found those, and they are white, and we do have those, and those are nice and long. Okay, so I added these, and then what I did is I took these 3 that I made, and again, that was that one right there.
So she's already added this. Now she's adding this.
Okay, so we're going to add.
And you could use your liquid glue. We're using hot glue so we can get it put together a little faster. And don't have to wait for it to dry.
I use liquid glue just because I don't like these little threads all over the place, but it certainly does make a difference as far as
a little faster,
quick you can do it. Yes. Okay, so then once I had this in place, then I, now can you see, Kelly, how this one is a little lighter green? And so you want to vary some of your colors. This is probably olive or avocado. Vary the colors of your greenery because it kind of adds a little bit of depth.
So cut a whole bunch of greenery out, and then you can just play around and grab what you want.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did the berries. This is an old bottle, Kelly, of mine.
And it's not even clogged. I'm impressed.
Well, you know why it's not clogged is because last night it was so clogged I cut off the tip. So it's going to come out a little faster.
So look out, everybody.
Yes, be prepared.
That is the thing about glossy accents. It does clog a little easier. And I was in a class with Tim Holtz once, and what his tip was is once you use your glossy accents and you're squirting it all over, to tip it back up and tap it once on the table, and that gets that bead that's up in the tip. It will get that bead down. So try that. And then get a pen if you need to. Another thing that he did was he took those plastic things that hang tags from outfits. Are we gonna have to, there we go. I think I got it. Yeah. Oh yeah, he showed us how to put those in. Oh yeah, that's those little plastic things that hang tags. That when I don't use scissors and I rip the tag off, and that's left in my clothing. He used those. Okay, so we're just going to kind of put a glob on each one of these, and when you first put it on, it'll look milky. But don't worry about that, because when it dries nice and clear. It's going to be just like this. Look how shiny those are, everybody. But Morning Dew from Nouveau Drops works just the same. If you wanted these to be sparkly, rather than using this, you could use Stickles or Nouveau, the sparkly. There is a red, Christmas red Stickles. That would be really pretty on those. Okay, so again... So many options, Maggie. Yeah, but I just thought that made these berries just kind of stand out. Now we have to not put our hands in it. Yes, and probably... Maybe do this last. I probably would have done this last, but I'm here with you. And hopefully your bottle is a little less... Hey, that worked just fine.
a little less glued. But okay, so what do you think? Do you think that, or I have the bells. This is another thing I thought would be good. Is Tim Holtz has holiday bells, and this is his new ones this year. I was going to show you.
Are these the previous? You've got two different ones here.
Oh, there they are. Okay, yes. I think this is last year's. This is this year's. And we have a few of the last year's, and they have the kind of bronzy.
So these are tiny bells, and you get 18, and they are $5.99, and they're all kind of small. And then the new ones, I didn't realize this, are holiday bells, and they've got some bigger ones.
And different shapes.
And you get
I'm
20,
show you.
And they're $7.99.
Okay, so I pulled out these two.
And Dee just said add a bell.
Yes.
So right when you were doing that.
Okay, so what we'll do is, let's see.
And somebody said add snow, so there's just lots of ideas.
Okay, I'm going to show you. This is how I did the... Okay, so remember how I told you that there might be some bare spots? When we get done, we're going to take these and fill in some areas.
Okay.
But I wanted to show you, this is how I make, this is terrible, make a foo-foo bow.
They like your inky fingers.
So I put my 4 fingers like this, and I put the first one like that. And then you're going to make figure 8s. You're going to go like this, and you don't want to do it too tight. Just loosely come in and out.
You got to be able to
like
get it off, right?
Figure 8, yes. And I'll tell you, maybe 3 feet of ribbon would be what you'd want to start out with. I call this my foo-foo ribbon. And then you reach in, and again, that's why you don't want it too tight.
So we have junk bows from Katie, and we have
Yes.
foo-foo ribbon from Maggie.
Okay, can you pull that off, Kelly?
That was a little tight, Maggie.
Yeah, see, and I tried
Don't
to
do
keep
it. Don't
loose.
do
There
that
we
tight.
go.
They said Diane's glitter mix on the greenery, which would be amazing.
That's what we're going to do next.
And grit paste sparkle on the greenery, that new from Tim Holtz.
Okay, so we can...
So now she's going to tie it with a piece of twine.
And
her-
you could
her
tie
foo-foo
it
bow.
with a piece of ribbon, too. Just happen to have this twine, which will be good for tying our bows on. Okay, so there's my foo-foo bow. How's your foot doing there, Kelly?
It's good.
Okay, and so once you have it tied, see how you can kind of pull it
Foo-foo
apart
it?
like this? And it just looks like kind of an old ribbon. And what's nice is we can put that on there, and then we have some twine left over to add our bows, or our bells. So I'm going to put a little glob of... So let's just stick that on there like that. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that bow really makes it.
And this is that silk ribbon. And so then, now we could add any of that, but we could add that, or we could add these bells, which I love Tim Holtz bells. Oh, look what we did, Kelly.
Did you get it in the glossy accents?
Probably.
So do your glossy accents last.
Last.
Don't do like Maggie. She did it so she could show it, but
Okay, so we're going to stick this bell. You know what? I'm not sure we even need to do that. I think we can use our glue gun.
I think it
So,
looks good just how it is.
Let's put the bell. Let's put a bell right here. I just love these bells. There
Well,
we go.
and silly me, I didn't realize the bells were new this year.
You know what? I'm going to put one on the other side. How's that sound?
I think it sounds great. And Janet put the recipe for Diane's glitter mix. We fondly call it Diane's glitter mix because she was the first one that mixed it up. But it basically takes a fine clear glitter like rock candy from Tim Holtz, and then you mix diamond dust with it. And so you get kind of the fine particles fill in between the diamond dust, which I'm not sure what diamond dust, it might, if it's glass or what it is, but it really reflects the light.
Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to open. This is
This
is clear rock candy. See how fine it is? And I would say if you're comparing this between diamond dust is much chunkier. This looks more vintage. And that's why Diane, when she mixed them, because she wanted a little chunk, but she wanted a little vintage too. So I'm going to show you. We're going to add just a little bit of glitter. we're going to put a little glitter on our greenery. So I'm just going to use, see what I mean by these things?
Yeah,
but it sure makes it faster, doesn't it? Okay, so we're just going to put some on here randomly, like that. It keeps catching this. We can pull those off later. Okay, so let's just
I see you really like that glue press, don't you, Maggie?
oh, you know what? It's the tool I never thought I needed.
Well, I'm glad you have one because I always got a little nervous when you were demoing because you never put your lid back on your fine tip glues.
It has been a game
now you don't have
changer for
to.
me. As I was working on this, I was going, oh my gosh, how would I have done this without that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now can you see? And what I like about it is you can get very fine. So we're just going to sprinkle our clear rock candy. And so that's why you're going to want that big, beautiful jar.
Oh my
so
gosh.
that you can use a
If
lot
you
of it.
missed it earlier in our video on Saturday, was it Saturday? Tim had a Halloween hoopla video on YouTube. Go check it out. It was pretty amazing. And he launched a commemorative large bottle. I think it's 7-point-something ounces of clear rock candy. And the bottle's really cool.
It's just a fun
like an
bottle.
old mercantile bottle.
If you follow Tim at all, it looks like something he would tuck up in his Christmas decorations.
And some people were ordering too. And you can order it. Ours is arriving today, according to our tracking number. And it might even be here now. I haven't seen if we've gotten freight yet today, but it's coming today. And it's just a really fun jar. And it's a value price. It's $24.99 and it's got like $32 worth of glitter in
Yes.
it. It holds 4 of, this tells you the size. It holds 4 of these jars. And it's the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, as long as I'm putting a little clear rock candy in, since I'm going to get one of those jars, I'm going to have plenty. I'm going to put it on the bell, just a little bit on the bell.
Now, I wish we could see this dry. Well, we can show it tomorrow because once it dries, the glue is going to turn clear and it's all you're going to see is sparkle.
Okay, so see, remember I made up those few extras just because you can tuck it in where you feel like it's got a little bit of bare. And so it just adds a little more.
Kathy said it reminds her of a school milk bottle. And Connie says you could do all your glitter and goo before you assemble.
Yes, you could.
So lots of different ideas.
Okay, so see, I just made up like 3 extras, and I'm just
Fillers.
tucking them in. They're fillers. But because that glue is white, you've got to wait until it dries, and you won't see the white. All you'll see is the glitter. And there's your Christmas ornament made from a
Yay.
pumpkin.
So we have made a pumpkin and an
Kind
ornament.
of like Cinderella. You just turn from a pumpkin into a Christmas ornament. I'm going to add some glitter to that one, too.
Very, very cool, Maggie. This has been amazing. Very amazing.
They're fun, and they're just fun to just mass create.
Well, you really ran with the idea, and we all appreciate it. I think this was a great day, and I think there's going to be a lot of pumpkin patches, paper pumpkin patches springing up across memory-bound land.
And if you do a Thanksgiving table decoration, send us a picture. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I
This
just
would
think
be
it
this would be really nice.
pretty.
Or if you're having, maybe you're going out to lunch and you just bring one for everybody, make one up for everybody, set it at your table. Even if you're at a restaurant, for if you're having a girls' lunch or something, it'd be very nice. Maggie, thank you. This was amazing, and
You're
everybody
welcome.
absolutely loved
Thanks for
it.
joining us today.
And we will be back tomorrow with Teresa, and she's using the Tim Holtz stamps and stencils. So we're really looking forward to that. Before we go, Jerry said her granddaughters and she make ornaments every year, and this is their 2023 design.
Oh my gosh!
So yay!
Yes, that will be so fun.
So all of you have a very crafty day. Thank you for joining us. Maggie, huge thank you. This was
Thank
totally
you.
cool. And we will see you tomorrow.